Greetings to all my fellow watch enthusiasts on YouTube and Facebook and wherever else this video is being seen and shared. It's Rvlvr once again, coming to you today with another watch review of a Random Rob Patreon group tour watch. I know that's a mouthful, but as you know, I am fortunate enough to be a member of the Random Rob Patreon group, and from time to time watches get sent into Rob, and he reviews them on his channel, and I'll leave a link below to that channel. And then the watch goes on tour, usually 10 to 12 folks who are members of the Random Rob Patreon group and the Random Rob Discord, pardon me, will get the opportunity to have the watch sent around to them, and they get to play with the watch for a few days, experience it, enjoy it, and if they're a YouTube person, they can make a video of it like I do, and then they send it on to the next tour person. And what we have here today is a rather unusual looking watch from a company called Rvlvr. That's Rvlvr. This is their AD5. And I will leave a link in the description to the Rvlvr website. They have many different versions of this watch and other watches as well. As you might expect, this watch with a company name like Rvlvr, this watch is influenced. Its design is influenced by a firearm, and you'll see that in a moment. So if you're someone who doesn't like firearms or doesn't like guns in general, and anti-gun, that kind of thing, you probably won't like this video, and I suggest you just stop watching now. But if you're interested, we'll open the box up. And it's a nice outer box, nice high quality, has that nice kind of cross-hatching pattern to it. The name of the company is embossed into the lid. Has a little bit of papering going on, and inner box is nice, smooth, heavy-duty material. I don't know. Doesn't feel like wood, but I don't know. It feels like a good, thick, heavy-duty plastic. Again, the logo of the company is on the lid. Unfortunately, when you open the package, and I'm all about the packaging. I love good watch packaging as much as I love a good watch. Unfortunately, the inside of the box is kind of a S show. It's really in bad shape. I mean, you can see the leather, or what leather-like substance is pulled away and cracked and really destroyed on the pillow, which is minor, but it's also being destroyed on the inside of the case as well. If it did have paperwork, it's not in here. I don't know if it ever had paperwork, but there's a little pocket there for it, and the logo again appears right there. It's a shame. I mean, this may be due to the in and out and the wear and tear of the tour, but the materials inside should work better than this. They should hold up longer. But anyway, you didn't come here to see a watch, boss. You came here to see a watch, and there it is. The Rvlvr AS5, or AD5, I'm sorry. Very unusual looking watch. Has a logoed crown, exhibition case back. It wants to be a dive watch, and it certainly has the statistics, which I'll get to in a little bit, to be a dive watch. Very, very undecorated movement. Um, don't know why you would do an undecorated movement with an exhibition case back, but okay then. Helium escape valve. Very short lugs. Die bezel. Feels okay. Feels a little stiff. But, you know, not the easiest die bezel to work with. We'll get into that in a little bit. Big, thick rubber strap, which we'll get into that in a little bit as well. And you can see the Rvlvr influence in the design. Now, obviously, most revolvers are 6-chamber. I think one I've only ever seen one revolver with 5 chambers, and that was a gun called the Judge, and that thing fired really, really big cartridges. Even fired 410 shotgun shells. And it was only a 5-chamber revolver. Most are 6. But that is the influence behind the design, is a revolver pistol. Has quick release on the band, which is a good thing, and I'll get into that in a minute. Because if you're like me, you're probably not going to want to keep this band. Anyway, it's not a bad watch. Not a bad one. I'll give you a wrist shot as best I can, because quite frankly, this strap is really hard to work with. Trying to get the bloody thing on and through the keepers. Hey, look at this. Look at this. I mean, I'm not without some skill in how to do these things, but geez. Anyway, okay, there you go. I finally got it onto my 7 1/4 inch wrist. You can see that it fits very well. Very stubby lugs allow the strap to just drop away very quickly from the watch. Very, very straight drop away. And it's, it's a good feeling watch. It's a substantial watch. It's a good looking piece. Get it off of me here. There we go. And of course we have a signed buckle with the Rvlvr logo. So let's get to the stats here. Let's get to my sheet O facts here. As I said, this is a Rvlvr AD5 model, the all steel bezel model. Retails on their website at $399 US. It is a 316L steel case with, quite frankly, a terrible rubber strap. It is extremely long, as you can see on the tail end. People with really small wrists, say 7 inches and below, are going to end up with a huge tail on the end of this thing. Hell, you might want to think about cutting it, although you'd really lose the nice finish of it. It's going to leave. It's going to leave like that much tail on it. If you can put up with it, good for you. But I really dislike it. I dislike rubber straps anyway, but this one, the keepers get stuck all the time. They don't move very well. It's hard to get the tail through the 2 keepers. It's very, non-compliant when it comes to that. I mean, it's just, it's rubber on rubber, and it just doesn't want to move very well. And you really have to work at getting that angled cut through the keeper, and then through the other one, and it's a pain. And this angled cut, I mean, it's really nice feature, but it's for me, it's being cute for the sake of being cute, and it really bothers me. So if I own this watch, I would be thinking about putting it on on either a generic mesh band, or trying to find a water-resistant leather band, or just putting on a leather band and admitting to myself that I never dive with my dive watches, and ditching this pain in the butt rubber strap, because it's really, really, really takes away from the watch experience. It is a 44 millimeter diameter case, so it is really a big boy. I like that. I like a big watch, and for the size is good for me. 22 millimeter lug, 13.6 millimeter thick. I had to, except for the case size, I had to measure these myself. So these are the lug with the thickness of 13.6 millimeter I measured, and the 51.5 millimeter tip to tip I also measured. That information was not on the website. It uses a Seiko NH35A movement, and as you can see, very undecorated, very plain movement. I realize at $3.99 price point, you're not looking for blued screws and Côte de Genève and engine turning pelage and all that other good stuff that you get with the big boy stuff. But geez, you could have done something with the rotor. Yeah. Engrave the profile of a pistol into the rotor. How much effort would that have taken? And then this really mystifies me. It's 300 meter water resistance, and it does have the helium release valve on it, which I think is probably not necessary on a 300 meter diver, but okay, it's got a helium release valve for 300 meter diver. And this is the part that really, one of the parts that really had me scratching my head. Sapphire crystal up front, mineral in the back. Really? Mineral crystal in the back? I realize that, the back goes up against your wrist, thusly, but, for $3.99, you could have done, you could have done sapphire on both ends, especially since you sort of, saved money on a rubber strap versus a bracelet. But, that's just me. Most people probably wouldn't care, but this for me, that's another bothersome point. Another bothersome point is the design of this case. You can see that the bezel is inside the case diameter, so turning and these are big chunky cutouts, and therefore big chunky non-cutout parts of the bezel, the edges, that you would think would be easy to get your hands around, but believe it or not, you rotate this thing, from here to here, and your finger runs into this, it runs into the case. It runs into where the lug meets the case. And it really disrupts the turning of the case. It's a minor thing, but I think you could have designed this a little better. It's a good feeling bezel. It has no slop. It slots in very positively into its detents. But I think you could have designed this bezel to be at least flush with the case to make it easier to get a hold of. Overall, I've got to say, I mean, it's a big crown, so it's easy to work with. It's got good feels on it, if you will. So it's easy to unscrew. It gives a good solid pop when it finally releases. Of course, it's a hackable movement. You have a date window down here at the 6 o'clock. All the good stuff from that. And it's fairly easy to catch the threads and screw it back down for water resistance. But it just seems a little clunky on the design. So what do I think? Well, I mean, it's a nice looking watch. It is a nice looking watch. They nailed the influence of a Rvlvr in the design of the watch. It looks good. It functions well. It's keeping good time. I've had it for a few days. I haven't had to reset the watch. It does keep really good time. No complaints there. And when it's finally get it on my wrist, it feels good. It wears well. It's got good heft to it, so you know you're wearing a watch, but it's not so heavy and obtrusive that you can't wait to get the damn thing off. But my God, I mean, between the problems with the box, the lining beginning to deteriorate. I mean, I live in a high humidity climate. I've had a couple of watch boxes that do this kind of thing. I don't know where this watch has been exactly before it got to me, but if this watch case material is going to do this, I don't think anyone that has the watch before me lives in Florida like I do. And Florida has one of the highest humidity contents in the country. And if it's going to do that in lower humidity areas, it's going to disintegrate in Florida. That's a problem. I mean, I realize at $3.99 you're not getting the full luxe treatment, but C- can do better would be that report card line item. The bezel is an issue. The strap is an issue. I mean, the strap can be dealt with. The bezel can't. You can't fix the bezel. It's part of the design of the watch. So there are for me there are issues. Not major issues, but and not, maybe to some of you it might be nitpicking issues, but these are issues that I'm going to point out. Would I recommend this watch? Yes. It wouldn't be one of my top 5 recommendations if somebody came up to me and says, I got $500 to spend, and I want a dive watch, and I'd like it to be a different look. I would throw this name out. It wouldn't be my first choice, but I would throw this name out. But I would also throw in the caveats of be prepared to spend a little extra money of that $100 that you still have in your pocket for a better strap. Be prepared for possibly the watch box falling apart on you. Be prepared for the bezel not to work as easily as you might think it would be. And be prepared for your back exhibition glass to be scratched up after a while. So with those things, I would say not a bad watch, not my favorite. I enjoyed my time with it, but this thing's going to move on now to the next person. So with that, I will say if you enjoyed this video and you found it informative and useful, please give me the thumbs up. Clicking the thumbs up button does help me. It does help the channel become more searchable. Comments, questions, suggestions down below. I read them all. I respond to them all. However, if you're going to troll me or be idiotic, I'll just delete the comment and I'll block you. Also, please stop sending me links to be my friend or dating services or any of that nonsense. I'm not even doing that, and I'm deleting the comments. So stop it, please. If you're new to the channel or you've been here a while, you haven't already done so, please click the subscribe button there, and also click the bell icon so when I upload new videos, you will be alerted to them. The channel's growing, and I appreciate everyone who's helped me grow the channel. Let's keep it going. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time.